Welcome Pisces to your in-depth weekly forecast for week commencing the 15th of April for the Ascendant, the Sun or the Moon. On the screen now I'm sharing the event chart right at the start of the week for you. Now this provides an overview of what you can expect for the entire week, and you can see that Saturn retains its place in house 1, but Mars, which applied to it last week, created a lot of tension, and that tension may have really affected you in terms of headaches or feeling a bit stressed out, finding it more difficult to sleep. You can see that Mars is just inching away from Saturn, but I just want you to know by Friday Mars forges an absolutely stunning angle to Jupiter. So some of the frustrations and limitations you may have felt last week can ease. But of course the total solar eclipse in Aries for you was very much about your sense of worth because it's house 2. Chiron was in the mix, and that's also about our sense of personal identity. So those areas may have come up for you, and this week, as you can see, the moon is actually in your sister water sign of Cancer, so that's a great location for the moon. But by the end of Monday it's squaring up with the sun, so we have a second, fifth house quarter moon. That's one that can make us much more mindful of where we're perhaps being a little bit too generous to loved ones. Could you help me with this again, please? Rather than taking responsibility for their own finances. So you may want to put your foot down a little bit about a situation like that. But equally, it's not the time to splash out on any grand and expensive gestures. If there is somebody new that you're being drawn towards, just let the relationship unfold at its own pace. Also, you can see that Venus, the planet of relating, pretty close to the North Node. That's going to happen this week, but also on Friday, Venus and Mercury come into an exact conjunction. If you have been waiting on news around finances with Mercury retrograde, and it has proved frustrating, a piece of information can come to you then which will absolutely delight you. Also, by the end of the week, as I mentioned before, Mars is moving forwards and darting into that great sextile with Jupiter, one of astrology's most energized connections, but particularly with Mars in house 1 because he rules house 1. Jupiter in house 3 is about how you think, but Jupiter loves to be enthusiastic, and with Uranus in the mix as well, some of the things that were really bugging you last week, by the end of this week can really be unraveling in a very positive way. Not least because on Friday, the Sun moves into the 3rd house, joining up with Jupiter and Uranus. The 3rd house sees things speed up. If you have been sort of having to think a lot about the foundational elements of your life or about everyday money, things have felt a bit stuck. You've been waiting to get some green lights. Suddenly things will just power forwards in a very electric and possibly a very exciting way. The only thing about that particular transition is, Pisces, that the Sun will square up to Pluto. 3rd house can be communication, quick communication. Pluto in the 12th house is very much to do with what we can't see. And it's possible that some information will come to you on Friday that you're not necessarily expecting. But that information can actually be very valuable to you. Sometimes when we find out about something that's tricky, initially we have the alarm and shock. But then when we get our head around it, we realise that knowing about it actually is best, because then we can start dealing with it. So something could come to the fore as the week draws to a close, but I feel your financial situation is going to improve, your energy is going to improve, and as long as you're mindful of the square between the Sun and the Moon, which could make you a little bit free and easy with resources, by the end of the week I think you're going to be feeling a lot more progressive than last week when Mars did apply to Saturn. Really quite a challenging link for you to get through. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Pisces. I hope you have a great week. We have done some research, and 55% of people who watch this channel are not subscribers. If you're one of them, please help this channel grow and click that subscription button and also the bell notification symbol. Every time I drop a video, you'll get an alert.